Now, the story of a man who found a ring on the Cave Hill at the site of a World War II plane crash and returned it to the widow of an airman killed in the accident made headlines around the world when it was made into a Hollywood movie.
Closer to home, it was also the subject of an award-winning UTV documentary. And now, 75 years after the B-17 crashed into the site of Cave Hill, family members of some of the 10-man crew have come to Belfast from Texas, Florida and Maryland for a special ceremony in their memory.
And UTV's Alison Fleming, who originally covered that story back in 2006, was there.
A moment's reflection for the bravest of lives. These families united to remember their relatives who died just days before D-Day. All brought together by the story of how a ring belonging to one of the crew was discovered at the crash site by local man Alfie Montgomery, who battled for years in the days before the internet to return it to its rightful owner.
Well, when I found the wedding ring back in the 90s and returned it in mid-96, that was only the start of this story. I thought it would be the end of it. Since then, myself and a good friend of mine, Will Lindsay, we've found more relatives who are coming across today. They represent two of the families of the 10 airmen on board. And it's so nice to have them here today, and they really appreciate what we in Belfast and Northern Ireland are doing for them. The documentary UTV made at the time has been worth its weight in gold, because as we found these people, we were able to send them that documentary and I didn't have to explain the story, and they were more than appreciative. Some of them even admitted to watching it with a tear in their eye.
The event, which was organised by the Royal British Legion, took place at a permanent memorial to the men at Belfast Zoo, remembering that crew who died just a few miles from their Nuts Corner destination.
It's incredible, it's almost surreal that the people of Belfast have actually thought about my family, and it's really made a big difference. It's really overwhelming. This is part of my heritage that I never knew about, never met my grandfather, and I wanted to be here for my dad, who passed away in 2002. I thought he would be here if he was alive, and I wanted to be here for him.
Well, I was named for Lawrence Raymond McGrain, who was a ball turret gunner on this B-17. He was my uncle. And we just wanted to come back and just tell the people of Belfast, thank you for remembering. Thank you for memorializing these men.
The story was made into a Hollywood movie directed by Sir Richard Attenborough and starring Shirley MacLaine. But it's the real story behind the crash that claimed those 10 lives that's in the hearts and thoughts of everyone gathered here at this ceremony.
I almost feel as if I personally know those 10 men now, because I've researched, and Will as well, we've researched into their backgrounds, what they did before the war, and they're almost like relatives that we didn't know out of our own family and never met, but we've heard about them, read about them. So it's very important to keep the memory going.
Alfie Montgomery ending that report from Alison Fleming.